Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by Deshaun and Caleb Berry from Get Hooked. Talked a little bit about their event that's coming up on the 17th of May over at Hag Lake, but there's a lot of other events going on, and we'll show you some of those here when Ryan pulls that up. So again, you got the event on the 17th. What else have you got going post that into the summertime?
Absolutely. So we have another event actually on April 19th, also with a group called Portland Harbor Coalition.
19th, like just around the corner.
Just around the corner on Earth Day, next Saturday, and that's at Blue Lake.
Okay, there you go.
You see it on the screen there. We're not teaching any fishing. We'll be out there with some gear, giving some tips and things like that. We'll have a group out there with some Pacific lamprey. They'll actually be out there with some live lamprey.
No kidding.
Kids can actually see.
Yeah. Okay.
And going to, just another event that kids can get out there free to the public. And then there's another one on June 7th at Salish Ponds.
Okay.
We're still in the finalizing stages of that one, but that's another one, another opportunity where ODFW is going to be stocking the ponds for us. Blue Lake also.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be free fishing weekend.
And free fishing weekend.
Okay, so they don't have to worry about licenses or anything?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just show up. And we're trying to do more of those free fishing weekends just to introduce people into fishing. So if they want to make that initial investment, they can see how they like it at first. It's like a test drive,
Sure.
And I think ODFW does four of those a year.
Right.
And so we'll be doing more events with them, partnering.
Well, and that kind of takes us back to what we mentioned a little bit earlier. It's not necessarily just about going out with a rod and reel and going fishing. You can learn about different species and different animals, trees for that matter, flower. I mean, you go over, you mentioned this a couple of years ago. I mean, literally everything from just walking down the path and look at what you're looking at. But you said lampreys. You ever held one?
I've never held a lamprey, actually.
Are you going to hold it?
I probably will, honestly. I heard they're pretty strong, though.
Dude, they are an amazing animal. I picked one up live out of the, in the water. It's all over your, it's kind of, it's cool, man.
I don't think I'm picking it.
I think I'll do it, but I don't know.
I'll have some gloves. If I have some gloves, I'll use our crabbing gloves. If I have crabbing gloves on, but I'm not.
Make sure you turn it over and check out the mouth. That's pretty cool.
No. I've actually seen them harvesting them off of Willamette Falls.
Yeah.
So they look like they're really, they're vital part of the ecosystem.
Oh, 100%.
In the river, and so,
no doubt about it. No, that's just cool if kids can learn different things.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here, and I know. Well, maybe this is the best way to do it. I don't want to speak for them. Have you ever had folks that came through and they started fishing and they were like, eh, and they just wanted to learn what's going on other than that? I mean, has that ever popped up?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
There's so many things to do in the outdoors to where fishing is just one conduit, right?
Sure.
That gets you into, I have friends who kayak and just, who paddleboard, and we just want people to have a buy-in on, conserving what we all love, and so fishing's just one avenue, but there's so much to do on the outdoors, and we have people who are usually there who enjoy fishing, but they enjoy something else also.
Sure.
But it's all driven by outdoors. And that's where we connect people together, is that if you may be a fisherman, you may not be a fisherman, still come out to our events.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be something there for everyone. And if you love the outdoors, it's definitely going to be something there for you.
Let's talk about folks that want to help some way. Maybe folks that want to volunteer, donate their time. They don't have gear or funds that they can donate, but they can come and spend some time there. What's the best way for them to do that?
Time is the most valuable thing that we have.
Sure.
More than money, more than gear and anything. And volunteers is something that we need always. There's only me and Caleb. I have a couple core people who always volunteer, but if you're able to donate any of your time, reach us on Instagram, reach us on Facebook. We are always looking for volunteers for all of our events. The one on the 19th, we have another small group of men that we're taking out, 25 kids on the 26th of this month also. We'll need volunteers for. We always need volunteers and veterans and people just to be around kids. You don't need to know about fishing. You don't have to have a huge wealth of knowledge. Kids just like to have someone there tell them that they're doing a good job, and that's typically what we need.
Yeah, and the parents sometimes need to know that they're doing a good job too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you're the young guy here, right? You're barely into your late 20s, for crying out loud.
I know, right?
I moved a boat around yesterday. I said that I'm like breaking my back over here, and this kid, Jesus. But as a young person, there's a lot of folks that your own friend group that also join in to help out. Overall, though, do you find young people in your age range that are also getting into the outdoors, or are they already into it? Is it something that they can also participate in?
I would say yes, because I think at this rate, like, just with social media, YouTube, you know, all the different things that like online stuff, it's so much in your face now that it's not like you have to know your dad or your uncle or somebody that went fishing. It's like now you can learn online. You know, you can literally learn from coming to an event or learning from YouTube, or you know, so there is a lot more people that are getting involved outdoors, and it's great to see. I mean, I would say that there's a little bit less than probably your guys' generation, but now that there's the social media and there's the YouTube and there's things like that, people have tutorials on how to do this. You know, it's like it's you don't have to go out to you can start inside at your house to kind of learn information.
Sure.
You know, so but yeah.
You mean like sitting on your phone and looking at stuff?
Right. I know.
Not doing.
Wow. I say that laughing because I've been doing that for some of my electronics from Raymer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Literally, I'm just staring at my phone going, okay, how do I do this? What do I do? Okay. I mean, but at least I did it while I was outside in the sun. At least that's an excuse. But it's an interesting dynamic. You got different generations that are out there. You know, I'm Gen X. You know, I'm sure that you're at least somewhere close to that. Somewhere close to
You know, I don't even think I know anymore.
It's funny being the old guy. But yeah, based on different generations, it's hard to get some folks out there. So if you're even in your mid to late 20s and you want to see if the outdoors is something that you want to do, trust me, it will be good for you. Get out there and get some sun.
Yes.
You can still take your phone with you. You can take pictures. I promise. You won't get too dirty unless you enjoy
As
yourself.
we say, it's our sanity.
Yeah.
That's what gives us peace.
That's a really good point, because I just recently experienced some kids that are young people, you know, that were pretty anxious types, and that's all they do is they spend their time inside. And if they ever got their butts outside, things might be a little bit different for them.
100%.
It's very therapeutic.
It is.
100%. You know, for me, it's where's my excuse for not catching the fish today? And then I get to share it with all of you out there. But it's still worth just getting out there and having some fun. Okay, so for folks that are out there watching, they're not quite sure the best way that they can do it. Any advice that we could share for them, even if they're unable to make it to one of the events, if they wanted to volunteer or not, any advice that you could give someone on how they could take those first steps to get outdoors for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, if you're unable to make it to an event, you know, we have the information. We've mentioned a couple of different organizations that you can even get online. If you're one of those people who like to do this, you can get online and learn about these organizations also and see the events that they have coming up also. I'm very available. I make myself available when people ask questions. I try to, you know, be that person who's going to answer when someone asks. Ask me a question if you have, you know. Send me a message if you want to know something about the outdoors. I have no problem answering those questions. I'm very available to answer those questions and fill those type of questions. So, and that'll help, you know, break down those barriers also. There's no barrier to me if you want to ask a question about how to get outdoors or how to go about doing it. And so, and I'm sure Caleb's the same way about that. And so, I think we've kind of not tried to minimize as many barriers as we can to getting outdoors. And that's, again, a part of my passion and our mission is just trying to minimize the barriers to getting outdoors. And don't be embarrassed about asking questions. I still ask questions. Trust me, the old guys teach me stuff all the time. And
I get taught a lot by the young guys for crying out loud.
And they're going to let me know when I do it wrong, too. Yeah. And so, and that's just a part of fishing and growing. You got to get out there and do it. And that's just a part of about anything in life. You got to get out there and do it. It's all intimidating. Find the people who are not intimidating. Find the organizations who are not intimidating. Understand how they work and let it benefit you.
What's been the biggest deterrent that you think that you may have seen through some of the families and kids that you've worked with over the years with Get Hooked and any other events that you have? But is there ever anything that pops up more consistently than anything else? Transportation, just the funds overall to get into it? I mean, what do you really
I would say
find?
transportation and funds, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Transportation.
Shot.
Yeah, transportation is a huge barrier because it limits you to what, you know. I rode my bike everywhere when I grew up in Northeast Portland. I rode my bike to every single spot that I wanted to go fishing at. But I was youthful then also. I understand.
He's 36 for crying out loud.
And I'm 46.
I'm getting closer to 30.
Yeah, exactly. I know
are.
we look like brothers, but I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
But it limits you to the areas that you can fish in also. And so transportation is a huge barrier. The cost of our licenses are not getting any cheaper. And look at it for the cost of a family trying to get into it also. That's why it's important for us to work with the bureaucrats of our, who oversee our sport to be creative as how they introduce new fees. I've been pushing ODFW to come out with a new license for people their first time fishing, like their first year fishing. It gets new money on the books. It lowers the price for those trying to get into the sport also for the first year.
That's a great idea.
It's a no-brainer. It's new money. They haven't bought into the system before. So we're trying to, it's things behind the scenes that we also do, working with ODFW, trying to create policies that are friendly to fishermen and outdoorsmen, being that voice, being that strong voice of opposition to some of the things that are going on. We've been allowed to have a seat at the table, and I take that very seriously.
Yeah.
And so it's important when I'm at the table to be creative, come up with ideas to help, again, reduce the barriers of people getting into fishing. Transportation and costs are some of the hugest.
That's a great point. I mean, those are what you just hit on. Those first-time folks that have never even thought about doing it, maybe they are, again, intimidated by doing it.
Yep.
They're not on the books, so it'd be an easy process.
It's easy.
To be your first purchase of a license. Hell, free would make sense just to get you started, to get you comfortable with it.
Then you would buy in. Even if half the people bought in, it's still new revenue for the state, new revenue for them to do what they're supposed to be doing for the fishery.
Yeah.
And so
I love how you said that.
So it's important to be creative and to push those envelopes to reduce those barriers for people to get outdoors, because it shouldn't cost so much to be outdoors. It shouldn't be.
I just spent 300 and some odd, like all of us. You get your sport pack, your couple of tags. Oh, tags! Don't forget to put in for your tags. Kenny, I say that because I haven't yet either. For crying out loud, don't forget. No, but it racks up in a short period of time. You end up with a pile of money that's out there for all good stuff, as long as the opportunities are available.
Absolutely. As long as the opportunities are there.
I hope everyone reaches out to you. Reach out to the folks that Get Hooked on Facebook, Instagram. Website that we just showed you was through Washington County. Washington County. Okay. So lots of ways that you can get involved. Lots of ways that you can help out. Just don't not do it. If it's something that you're interested in, just reach out. As you can tell, these guys will help out in any way that they can. Get out and have some fun with your family. Caleb, it's great to see you, man. Good luck when you get back out there. Deshaun, it's great to see you.
Always, bro.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to either take a couple of phone calls or answer a couple of our Facebook questions. We'll be back in just a minute.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. And by North American Metals Incorporated, first choice for all your metal roofing and siding needs.